First and foremost, how did you get started in this industry?
It kind of bridged off from me dancing. I wasn't really big into online content at one point. So I think right before pandemic, I kind of got invested a lot into this because, you can't go outside. Everybody's not trying to really be at the club. And then it's like, well, this is a better way to connect with my audience because I used to travel. So everybody just can't pick up and go and when I leave. So I think probably in the last 5 years. So I I got into this just because it was just like another branch to something I was already doing.
Okay. And do you still dance or are you more focused just on camming?
I've been camming more in the last few years, just because of how my health been and things. So camming actually works with my schedule. It's more convenient because you don't have to wait until late night or have to go out into a congested area. It's like when you establish a bond with the people that support what you have going on, it's easier to make a schedule around that. So I've been pushing more towards camming. I haven't really danced at all, probably in the last year. I try here and there, but I got too accommodated with camming.
Yeah, you mentioned that you feel like with your schedule and flexibility and even your health, camming has provided a solution for you because you are able to be at home. You are able to work around the needs of your exact schedule.
Yes. Especially when you're doing camming, you're open for more I feel like more one-on-one or more established relationships with people that support you, especially um with it being something that is so convenient now. It's in an app. So basically it's like being on your phone, texting somebody, you can just literally pop it open and it's right there. So now it's more accessible, like your day-to-day things.
I'm curious because you're in the US, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I know OnlyFans is also really popular in the US. Are you on OnlyFans as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What would you say are some of the biggest differences between OnlyFans and LiveJasmin?
Some of the things I like that LiveJasmin has is the app. Overall, the app is really awesome because I don't have to have like a browser open or it's like I said, like we was talking before, the convenience. It's easier, the load out, the interface is very smooth. I know I had started Jasmin probably a year ago and I had stopped for a few months. And then after a few months, I came back and seen their whole interface had changed. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like the OBS setup and everything, it was really smooth. But compared to OF, the I'll have bugs here and there, things like that. And I would say keeping track of the people are a little bit harder. It's just OF have a good system of separating what type of people that you want to cater and serve to. And LiveJasmin has a more up-to-date interface. I was with OF before Jasmin, so it was like I feel like OF still has a lot of room to grow, especially with them having so much traction in the last few years. But I've also heard that Jasmin has been around for a very long time and they try to cater to their crowd on the dot. And I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna see who moves pretty fast. And Jasmin has really been on it because I think that, like I said, they want to cater to the people that they have here and they want to keep them here. And if that's the case, it's like you got to listen to the people that spend a lot of their time here. Everybody thinks just jumping on OnlyFans, you'll get your own traction. It doesn't work like that. OF is the equivalency of, I don't know if you know Twitch. Twitch is another gaming platform in America. It's the equivalency of that. You're not going to get no assistance in being seen. You're not going to get the help you need to build that traction to make you be more visible. What I've noticed from LiveJasmin, there is a lot of room, and not only room, but milestones to help you, excuse me, become more visible. So I'm if you look at OnlyFans and then you look at LiveJasmin actually gives you room to actually climb that social ladder. Yes, it might be women that already have a fan base already here, but I say if you're gonna start off new, LiveJasmin gives you more space for that. I tell people if you already got an established group of people, OF is fine. But or if you're someone that's like, I'm not that known, I really want traction, I really want to get on a global scale, I recommend LiveJasmin because of they're diverse. They have so many different type of people and cultures that potentially be on this platform, and it's so much opportunity to expand and grow your brand over here.
Yeah,
So
that's really interesting. So, and that's what I've kind of heard. I don't know as much about OnlyFans, but I've kind of heard that it is a very difficult platform to just start on when you don't have any following, and think that you're going to make any type of income is not really realistic. But as you mentioned, Jasmin is built for you to succeed and climb up and up the more work that you put in.
I think that especially with LiveJasmin and OF, is they get a lot of backlash right now just because of how social media and the internet is accelerating at the rate that it is, because these platforms and the access that certain people have to these platforms is nothing. How do I want to explain this? Basically, we kind of get a bad rep when it shouldn't be seen like that if it was like handled properly. This type of platform could cater to people that have, issues with dealing with people on a day-to-day basis. This could assist with people that want to, practice their social encounters. Because some people actually come to me and ask me like, hey, I know you used to work in the club. Like, what is the mannerisms? How am I supposed to act? I don't want to go there and do the wrong thing. Like, hey, if I go to another cam girl, how should I, approach her? And I'm like, well, you should do it this way because we are still people on the other side of this screen. I think people fail to realize just because it's a cam or a piece of glass separating us, we still are not human ourselves. And especially when you spend so much time with different people and learning like what their kinks, their triggers, when you kind of be in that space for so long, you tend to pick up and be able to tell or cater to people way better than they give you credit for. So that's kind of how I feel about this platform.
I want to go back to something you said, which was that, these platforms shouldn't really, I'm not going to use your exact words, but it was something to the degree of they shouldn't really get the bad reputation that they have.
Yes.
Talk to me
Because
more about that. Yeah.
because sex is a part of life. We live in a society now that is so stuck up, so far to the ceiling that they forget as humans we still have needs. We still have needs for physical touch. We still have needs for socializing. We still have need for intimacy on a intellectual level. Like I have people that come pay me just to have a conversation. I'm glad I'm being treated like a person. I'm glad somebody actually asking about my day. I'm glad somebody cares, because it's so much of that is not getting passed around. Like a lot of people would give me the rep, oh, you dance, oh, you do this cam, why should I listen to you? I said, well, let's say this. Let's take away the cam and the dancing. I'm still going to be the same exact person that I am. That's not going to change who I am or what my beliefs are. Now, I say that those jobs have altered my experience with people and gave me a better perspective to deal and handle with people, and including myself, but that's not going to change who I am. And once people get past that job, because this is what this is a job, and a job that I do care about, because at the end of the day, it's my word, it's my body, it's my image that I'm putting out to the world. And if I'm going to remember for being a cam girl or any type of girl on here, at least I can be like the cam girl that helped me get past my parents dying, the cam girl that helped me, get through the school experience. Like I tell the men and the women that I cater, or whatever you identify, that yes, I can get you to a certain point sexually, but where's the full benefit of that? Why don't you stick around for something that can help you develop more? Because in society, it's all about, okay, I get mine and I get gone. But now everybody's around here like, well, what happens after that? Well, there's a lot that can happen after that. You just got to stick around and find out. And that's what they usually do. I feel like in relationships, there could be so many things to argue about, but instead of being honest about your preference and your sexuality, we have to waste time hiding who we truly are when we could be discovering other levels of ourselves together.
That was just so well said. Very well said. Yeah. And that's one of the things I've heard a lot from members is that they feel like LiveJasmin has given them a space to explore themselves and learn more about their sexuality in ways that they didn't even realize. And they realize, you know what, I'm really not into this traditional picture of things, or, you know what, I actually am into the traditional picture of things because I got to, explore this fantasy and I didn't like it, but they got the chance to explore it, but, why I asked you if you do have female members is because female members are the ones that actually, I haven't been able to interview one female member. And so I've been told we don't have many. And I'm like, but I just really want to interview a female member and get her experience.
The one I was able to talk to probably about a week, 2 weeks ago, she came in there just like any of the guys. I started her off just like everybody else, introduced myself, and she was like, well, before we start, I got one thing. I'm like, okay, what is it? I'm a woman. I was like, I was like, no, it's not a big deal. I said, you here for the same thing you probably just want to talk to, or you need me to do my job, whichever one, we'll figure it out. And, she goes on to explain the situation that she's in. Basically, she's in a very traditional marriage and, she needs certain requirements in her situation. And because let's say she had got married before being able to explore her sexuality and it's years down the line, she's like, hey, is this wrong for me to feel this way? And me being 27, I told her no, because I'm a genuine believer that people should be able to explore at a younger age and to establish bonds with their sexuality, so it's not an issue down the line. If you deny somebody the access to explore and to educate themselves on different sexualities and what they really are, it's going to become a problem when they're 30 and 40 and 50. And then you're going to see all these other people like we see now fighting themselves from the inside out because they don't know what they want. We got politicians over here that are trying to make laws about transgenders, and in their spare time, that's what they are. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I wish people more in America would become more open with this, because it would help us evolve more. Like I said, America I wouldn't say America get that nothing. They have a bad rep. I live here, but all of us is not like this. It's sad that people don't take this part of the triangle of life serious, because it plays an essential in the mind and the body. Because if you're not physically attracted to something, and if you're not mentally attracted to something, it leaves room for unnecessary encounters. Unnecessary encounters could potentially be somebody being hurt, traumatized, or an encounter that never needed to happen. So if more people are open, I feel like that'd be one less problem we ain't got to worry about. I don't know where society is going to go in the next 10 years, but hopefully it goes in a direction where it's not going to be continuously be contradicting people in power being afraid to show who they truly are. The fact that everybody is still bent on this high school system of I got to be popular and I got to impress the next person, instead of living by a system of I got to do what's right, I got to do what's good for me, it's going to continue to spiral out of control until somebody be like, look, I might not be the most popular one, but I'm just let you know, I'm not feeling this. And a lot of the time I tell people, I'm not feeling this, because there's going to be a point as a cam girl that I'm not going to be young at forever. I'm not going to be some hot chickadee forever. And I'm just being honest, because I can't outrun time. Wouldn't you like to have a group of people that still ride it out with you to the very end? That's kind of how I see it. I see it as a long-term thing. The fast money is good, but the relations and the bonds and the connections are forever. another stigma that they put with cam girls and sex workers, that everybody's cheap because it's tied to sex. No, I really feel like it's not, because especially intimacy is not cheap, especially if you're a person that's very intimate, and that's how you communicate, because some people communicate through intimacy, touch, gift giving, whatever. It's very costly on someone's mental and physical when they're actually giving that part of themselves up. And a lot of people, that's like if you're going to a dead-end job and you're working 8 hours a day, you're giving a piece of yourself up. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't get that. And I'm like, this job has taken a lot out of me, but it also has opened doors for me to help and expand my brand, because it's giving me one of, like, I could say a secret weapon, because having a normal life, doing content, being a YouTuber, or, trying to do this influencer lifestyle that most people are trying to do, I don't always try to shove it down their throat. On top of, I try to be discreet, or I try to, like, put it in their way, like I said way at the beginning, that they didn't want the same thing that everybody else is doing. Like right now, I haven't been posting a lot. They like, when you gonna post again? When you gonna post again? I'm like, look, I'm listening to y'all. Y'all don't like the same promo as everybody else. Y'all don't want the same layout. Y'all want some creativity. So this is what creativity costs. It costs time, investment, ideas. This is what comes with it. If you don't want something that's practical and just copy and paste and just like everybody else, then you have to, be patient. So they look forward to my, absurd things. Like, I cut my hair off probably like a week and a half ago, and they've been going crazy about it. I'm supposed to be getting more tattoos. Like, they just enjoy being involved in a lot of the things that I have. And I allow them to have certain things and certain parts of me, and there's certain parts of me that I keep.
I'm curious your thoughts on, the girls like on OnlyFans that have an agency that are messaging guys back, and the girls actually have nothing to do with it. It's just their picture. But that's not a real relationship. There's no authentic,
I've been on that side of the pool, and I'm not gonna act like I haven't. When I felt ill, when I wasn't able to, like, get out of bed, nothing, I had to get an agency in to actually help me, because they didn't want people knowing that it was them. But I was like, look here, they're gonna know from day one. They're gonna know month one. They're gonna know it's somebody else. And I'm like, I was very, like, over their head. Like, I was like, I don't like that. I don't like you talking to them like that. Like, I was really on it. Like, I wouldn't say I was the most difficult client, but I would say I'm one of the most particular ones, because these are the people that they will come from my OnlyFans or my Jasmin and come find me on any other platform. Benzie, you ain't messing me back. Benzie, there's a problem. Benzie, because I always tell them, if there's an issue, give me time to fix it, and I'll fix it. Some people want to fix at that moment, and some people don't mind waiting a couple weeks. They be patient with me because I start doing the math for them. If I got 300 men, I got 300 members that want my same attention and time, intimacy and everything. But then you want to charge me $10 for every member. Keep in mind, every member require at least 30 minutes at the max minimum. That don't really make sense for me. That's like me making a cheeseburger at McDonald's, and then, I'm supposed to just get a percent off that cheeseburger. It doesn't really make sense for me. So I tell people, like, I have different levels and different relationships with people, because that's just how it goes for me. I tell people, build your brand or your community around your standards and what you require, and let them know, like, every year I tell them, if I don't do anything, I grow, I evolve, and I become better, because I have an opportunity to share that information and that insight with you, because not only have you been here purchasing content from me, you've also been supporting and helping me. Because let's be honest, you got billion-dollar companies like Amazon and, all these other companies that's getting subscriptions on a daily basis. Keep in mind, it might not even be sexual, but they're getting subscriptions on a daily basis for stuff. And it's like, you got to compete with all different types of subscriptions. You got people that compare you to a Netflix subscription. You got people that compare you to a Pepsi subscription. Whatever type of subscription they can compare you to, they're going to compare you to. So if my competition is all these subscriptions, then I have to bring something that they're not making available. And that is giving a one-on-one connection that's allowing people to really explore what makes them comfortable or uncomfortable. I tell people it's not my place to judge you. I'm not going to act unhuman and say that it doesn't come across my mind. That will be a lie to you, but it's still not my place to be disrespectful and judge you for who and what you are. My job is to be here and be basically a cushion for when you decide what you want to be and who you are.
I love that. That's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. And I think that's a beautiful description of what this industry is at the core. Of course, there are other variations of it that aren't that, but I think at the core, that is what members are seeking, is a safe place to explore themselves, to be heard, to be seen.
And so many people like the idea that I'm capable of bringing that what's next energy. I tell people, I'm building back up to that, because with me, I actually have, I have depression, PTSD, ADHD, autism, and anxiety. And Cam has made it easier for me to talk and to be more connected with people versus real life. Because as a dancer, I was not very fond of talking. I would talk to customers that pay me, but most of the time I found peace in not saying a single word, because it was a loud environment. It's a lot of people. It's hard to be able to have a consistent conversation when it's constantly people bumping you. You're trying to yell. It's just too much. It's sensory overload for me, if you want me to be honest. So I feel like this experience overall is something more people should normalize, because a lot of people are not getting that intimacy, especially at a younger age. And now that people are getting in their late 30s and, early 40s and, dragging to their 50s, it's starting to show.
Amen. Yeah. Thank you so much. I like to end the interviews by asking one final question, which is just, what's something you're the most grateful for in your life right now?
I am grateful for the opportunity to learn and to explore different people. Being able to not only communicate and establish bond with hundreds of thousands of people at any free will, it assists me in my own growth as a person. A lot of people don't take that advantage of that, because a lot of us was taught to, stick with inside our circle, stick to where we're born at. And what people don't understand, that mentality is what keeps you where you're at. That mentality is the reason why you're not able to explore your sexuality and be open with yourself. That mentality is what's holding you back. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be able to talk and to expand my relationships with so many people in the time frame that I am. Because if you look about 30, 40 years ago, it would be a little bit harder to be on this mass scale. So now it's like, dang, I'm really able to hone in, pinpoint, and really get down to the best parts of people without wasting so much valuable time.
Very well said. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we do too. This has been an incredible interview. Absolutely. I can tell you're probably very healing for people. Definitely.
Yeah, they say breath of fresh air. They kind of be like, like I don't have to explain, this multiple times. And me, I tell people sometimes I just don't be listening, but it's just because I zone out. But some people really need that connection. Like, wow, somebody actually gets it. Like they understand. Like sometimes, and that's all they need is that one little thing.
Yeah.
It don't even be much. Sometimes it's that one thing that'll make somebody's day.
Absolutely.